All right, everyone. Hey, how's it going? We are live, and welcome to the next block of the Phys Ed Summit 2016. We're really glad that you're here and that you could join us. My name is Colin Brooks, and I'm a member of the Phys Ed Summit team and the Phys Edagogy team. And thanks for joining us for this back-to-back action-packed PD for health and physical educators around the globe. So we're thankful and humbled that you want to be a part of that. So just a reminder, everyone, that we are using technology, and there might be a few glitches along the ways. And if there is, please communicate with me in the Tozzle, and I'll get those squared away. If you're using the internet browser, Internet Explorer, we discourage you from using that one. We would ask that you consider maybe downloading Chrome, or even Safari or Firefox might work better when you're looking at the Tozzle and the presentation. So with that being said, also there's just a reminder about the badges that we're using with the Phys Ed Summit this year. So you can check our blog to find out more about how you can earn badges and become part of that competition for the Phys Ed Summit. After the summit, you will receive a survey, and you can just fill that out, and I'll post it in the Tozzle as well. Please feel free to ask me any questions at any time, and I will relay them. So without further ado, I am going to hand it over to Lisa, and she's just going to talk about her presentation. So Lisa, take it away. I think we may have lost Lisa. 1 second.
All right. Well, hi.
Hang tight, everybody. Hey, everyone, I'm trying to get Lisa back, so just hang in there. She knows that she's trying to get back in, so it'll just be a minute or two. So you can go take a brain boost while we're waiting for her to come back. Lisa, can you hear us? One second, everybody. She is currently working on it. She's hopping back in. Yep, there's, like Naomi saying on the Tozzle, there's a ton of great resources that you can access while you wait for her to hop back in.
Now I just see the Phys Edagogy symbol in the middle.
So yep, we're still working on it, everybody. So just having, I think, some technical difficulty with the Wi-Fi at her school. So we will keep you updated.
The Chrome closed on me, so I'm opening up Chrome again. Yeah, it usually works fine. I'm just waiting for it to.
We should be back. We should be here any second. How's everyone doing? You enjoying the Phys Ed Summit? Hang tight, everyone. Hey, Lisa, it looks like you're good.
Okay.
Awesome. Take it away.
Okay. Right. Well, we've got a picture. All right. Hi, everybody. I just want to thank Phys Ed Summit for taking my idea and letting me share it with you on Phys Ed Summit. I want to thank the families that are here. We have 9 or 10 stackers that are going to be part of our presentation today, and so I really appreciate those families taking time out of their busy Saturdays to come in and support this presentation. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I just want to introduce myself and let you know where we are and what's going to happen today. So my name is Lisa Berman. I am a PE teacher at the Soulard School. It's a very small private school in the St. Louis area. And but I coach sport stacking here. So we are live from, it's called Concordia Gymnastics Society. So there's our big symbol there. And we are part of the American Turner organization. So this Turner Society is over 140 years old. So they didn't always have sport stacking. The Turners were started as gymnastics and social organizations for German immigrants. So, but over the years, they've added different kinds of sports, and now sport stacking is a big part of our program here. So, but I am going to talk mostly today about sport stacking in your PE classes. And as we go, there are a lot of links in the Tozzle, and I'm not going to show no slides. It's just going to be my head for about 20 minutes or so. So I'm hoping that you'll create your own experience where if I say something, you click on something in the Tozzle and create your own experience. I won't know what you're doing. You might even check out Andy. I tried to do 2 sessions this morning. I found it a little dizzying, but that might be the way you want to do it too. But the idea is that I will prompt you to those links every so often, but if you are, we've all been to professional development workshops where, you know, it's a one size fits all. And I really want you to tailor this experience to what you need. So if you are brand new to sport stacking, you might focus more on the how-to videos. I give the first one in the series as a link. If you mindset, you could go to those documents and follow a tangent of links that maybe I didn't even put in there, but you might follow a pathway while you're listening in. So create your own experience, and I think you're going to get the most out of this session. And about halfway through, I'm going to bring my stackers in and simulate what a PE class sport stacking competition could look like as a culminating event to your unit. Or we do this periodically. So I teach sport stacking to 5 different groups of kids here at our gym every week. And we do this every few months just to give them that competition experience. And I'll explain why I think that's so important and beneficial to them. And if you have any questions, just type those in and we'll answer them as we go. So this is my 4th year teaching PE, but I have been in education more than 20 years. Classroom teacher, all the schools I've worked in, this common theme about projects. So the first school where I was a teaching intern it was called the Learning Project. And they were all about hands-on learning to learn. And then I got a job at the South Shore Charter School in outside Boston, and they were all about project-based learning in a way that really, I mean, it's over 20 years old now, in a way that a lot of people weren't doing project-based learning then. And that school was, and all these schools seem to have been started by small groups of parents who wanted a better education for their kids. And so, and I think it's funny, I've never been Miss Berman at a school. I've always been Lisa. So those are the kind of schools I gravitate towards. But these project-based learning schools, the South Shore Charter School was all about answering the question for kids of why are we learning this? And always being able to answer that question. And that has really stuck with me throughout my career in education. So there I taught multi-age classes. I had 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade all together. I taught all subjects. And then I moved up, I was the head of our middle school, but also a classroom teacher. Again, I taught all subjects, but I also ran our PE program, which we had no facilities, no equipment, and no staff. But I still was able to put a PE program together because I thought that was important. And so I could.
Way to be flexible, Lisa, and make it happen. Yeah. That's awesome. That's what it's all about, right?
Right, exactly. Well, sometimes you hear that question of, would you rather have great equipment but a not very good space, or no equipment and a great space? And I say, give me a good space and I'll deal with the lack of equipment stuff.
Yeah, cool.
All right, and then I took a break for a little while. I worked for the St. Louis Zoo. I traveled around St. Louis with live animals. So I like to say that's a different kind of physical literacy to handle boa constrictors and opossums. So that's another whole session probably. And now here I am at the Soulard School. My kids go there, and they were looking for a PE teacher, and I just really like the idea of becoming more involved in, in physical activity has always been part of my life, playing sports. When I was at the South Shore Charter School, my project was focused around health and fitness that I ran with the kids. So it's just something that's always been important to me, and I've loved every minute of being part of physical education as my main career now. And yeah, so that's how I kind of got where I am. A lot of people want to know how I got involved in sport stacking specifically. So I'll tell you briefly how that occurred. So when my daughter was in kindergarten, she was at a brand new charter school, and aftercare was free. I was still working full time at the zoo, and I needed a way to occupy 5- and 6-year-olds at 5 o'clock at night. You can imagine that this was a challenge. It was also a brand new school, not a lot of resources. So I was bringing really awesome stuff from the zoo, like pelts and skulls, and they didn't really care about that at all. And so I said, oh, I need an active way to keep these kids occupied. And I had remembered seeing sport stacking on TV somewhere, and looked it up and thought, oh yeah, I think that does look like fun, and read the research behind it. So ordered some cups, taught myself how to do it. I ran this after school club that became more and more popular over time. The first year I had maybe 10 or 12 students. By the time 2 years had passed, I had 40 to 50 students that would sign up for this club. So I had that question. I said to my daughter, she was then in 2nd grade, why are we learning this? We should find a competition. Let's see what that's about. And so we went to our first competition and just loved it. Just loved the people, loved the experience. It was Quincy, Illinois, with Ken Mansell. It was the first place we went. We had to drive like 3 hours to find a competition. So we just loved it. And I said to her, would you want to do that again? And she said, yeah. And so we just kept going to more and more competitions. So I wanted to bring that back. So I brought it back to her school, and we put on a competition. And I ended up coaching here because when I rented this gym, they charged me $1,000. And I wanted to keep, not personally, I didn't have to pay for it, but I wanted to keep doing these competitions. And my kids take gymnastics here. And so we were, I was just hanging out here at night while they were in classes. And I said, why don't you let me coach here? It'll add to our program. And then I'll run competitions here, and it'll be a win-win for everybody. And so we've been doing sport stacking here at Concordia ever since. And I do teach it in my PE program. So I was doing it as an after-school program. Now I don't have time for all those things. I just teach it as part of my PE program every year. When I run the competitions here and in my PE class, even my PE students, thousands of people in the St. Louis area use sport stacking in their PE program, but my competitions have like 50 kids. And a lot of times they come from states that they're not even from nearby. Like I'll have kids from 10 different states that just want the opportunity to compete. I was wondering, well, what's that about? Why? And so when I started to approach PE teachers directly, I would get answers like, well, I see the kids on YouTube, so how fast do they really have to be? And I would say, we've got all levels of kids here. It's just they get a t-shirt, and everybody usually they're so small that everybody makes finals, and they all get, see what they can earn in terms of reward. And so I knew that there was this, it's true that our PE classes focus on physical literacy, but there's also this challenge strand. So when I first started teaching at the Soulard School, I found that the students I was teaching really surprised me in that if anything was remotely going to involve a winner and a loser of a game, I had kids that we would play balloon volleyball, and if they were down by a point, would sit down. And that was just so shocking to me. And I thought, but we're having fun, and so it really has been an ongoing process for me to help kids understand that the competition's not the point. The competition is what pushes you to do your best. And when you compete against somebody, it's not about this old-fashioned notion that I think of that came up at some point about, like really beating somebody with that, gnarly face, that it's about, oh, well, if we're in this competition together, it pushes me to do my best. And I even put a link from the Positive Coaching Alliance about how a worthy competitor is a gift. And I really try and encourage the kids that I coach here and the kids that I teach that when we put ourselves in this situation where we're taking on a challenge, that's how we push ourselves to do better and learn more about what we're able to do. In addition, the project-based learning schools that I taught at, a key factor of that project-based learning was having an outside judge. It wasn't, I just do this, like I build a model of the Mayflower and yay for me. It was, we're going to provide a service for somebody. We're going to put together a museum. We're going to create a museum about what we studied, but we're going to bring somebody from a real museum in here and see what they think. And that really raised the stakes. It made it more meaningful. And I think the same is true in our PE classes, that we can give our kids positive experiences in competition so they can learn about the, when that strand of facing challenge, they can acknowledge certain things are challenging. I like that. Certain things are challenging. That didn't feel very comfortable at all for me. And we can help them through that process. And that's a big part of what we talk about. I don't care who you are. Every time somebody gets up to the table for the first time, sport stacking, when they know they only get 3 tries for their best time, it gives them butterflies in their stomach. And we talk about that very explicitly. And what does that mean? And but if they put themselves in that situation, they'll really understand their skills and they'll have something to go back and work on. So any questions so far? I just figured I know I talk a lot.
No, we're just we're cruising. No, you're
Okay.
doing great. We're chatting a little bit on the back channel, but yeah, everyone's listening and intently to the story about how you got started and everything. So it's awesome.
Okay. All right. Slide check-in. All right. So this notion of growth mindset has been popular for a few years now, and I thought I really see the potential of sport stacking for that. I've seen it over and over again with the kids that I work with. And I really think that it's a great platform for learning about that. Because even I will tell you, they're just cups, right? So it's a low stakes kind of environment to learn about these issues of, what happens when I practice and I practice and I practice and I still didn't get my best time. Or, hey, I really prepared and I was able to accomplish what I set out to do. Or even if you're competing, if you are in a position where you're competing against other kids, that you can set your own personal goals, and that makes it a successful day for you to see how you do, and where you end up in the group is really not relevant to the enjoyment of the day. And I see this over and over again with the competitions that my kids and I travel to. I see this happening in front of me, and I really want to give, that's a very small subset of kids. And so I would love to see more kids have that experience. And so I did put a couple links in the Tozzle. There's a well-known TED Talk by Carol Dwyer. And also this article called How to Raise Smart Kids, which is all about seeing a challenge and wanting to work on that challenge, is way more important than any testing that might be done of a kid that gives a number to their aptitude. That having that drive to learn and trial and error is really going to lead to greater success. And again, I think sport stacking is a very low stakes way for a kid to experience that and learn about it. All right, so oh yeah, go okay. Right.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I also feel like it's a way to give kids some specific feedback. So a lot of people, you might not be familiar with stacking enough to know, well, I don't really know how to, give specific praise about different parts of sport stacking. So things that I talk about with the kids that I coach is there's always the personal best. So if you've got mats and timers and cups, they look at that timer, they see the time, it's so immediate. It's not like, hey, let's have soccer practice for a few weeks and then we'll play our first game and see how it turns out. It's just so immediate and it's so personal that they immediately want to work on those skills. And that you can also talk about their consistency. So even if they're not the fastest person in your class, you could say, well, I know that you're still learning, the 363 and your times are not as fast as so-and-so over there, but could you do 4 in a row that are the same time? And that is a new challenge for them with their own skills. And then something that we also talked about is their technique. So I did put a video, one of my favorite, there are a gazillion YouTube videos for stacking, but one of my favorites, it's 27 styles and 27 fives. And so different stackers have different styles and they change their styles over time. You can even find videos that are, say, like evolution of a style, and it'll see even one stacker showing videos over time of how they've changed their style to improve their own stacking. And I think showing kids that shows them, oh, it's not just about being the fastest ever, it's about this trial and error and thought process of becoming a better stacker.
So Lisa, so there's team and individual events. Is that correct? That was a question someone had. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I don't know if you have time for that in a PE class, but in a sanctioned or recreational competition, you can have multiple events. So there's individual events. There's the 3-3-3, the 3-6-3, and the cycle. And then there's the doubles event. So doubles is when each partner uses one hand and they work together. And then there is a relay event where 4 people work together and you see how what the time is for the 4 people going one after the other, just like any kind of relay. And that's another reason I love sports stacking, is because I feel like, I think this probably happens in sports like track and swimming, where I might, in my own age division, compete against somebody in the individual events. It's good for me if that person's fast, if they're my doubles partner. So it really yields respect for that person. I can't be upset if they're faster than me in the individual competitions, because then if I get to be their doubles partner, that's a really great partner for me. And then 4 of us work together for the relay. So I feel like I've seen over and over again where kids, they understand that dynamic, they really appreciate it, and are really respectful of each other in a competition setting. And that being part of all those events does even foster it more than if you just do one event. But yeah. So what happened was I had this problem, and not this problem, but I had this concern: how can I make sports stacking competitions more palatable to my students and the family, even the families I work with? I tell kids all the time, I go out and do sports stacking demonstrations all the time, that sports stacking can be a recreational sport, just like if you want to shoot hoops in your backyard, you can do that. That's great. It's, get exercise, it releases stress. It's great to be active. Or you can be a competitive sports stacker if you choose to do that. So I do think that there's definitely a place for both of those things, and I don't think everybody has to compete. But I was wondering, well, how can I get more kids involved in that way to see if they enjoy it, to give them that experience? And so I went to one of my daughter's gymnastics, which I have to get. Sorry, one of my supplies was out of reach. All right, so this past year, my daughter's also a competitive gymnast, and we were part of this achievement league. And I saw how this achievement league ran, and I loved it. And I thought it would be so applicable to PE classes. So here is her scorecard from the January competition. And what happened in this meet was the kids go through all their events just like it's any other gymnastics meet, but they don't rank kids at the end. Every kid just gets a card at the end with their scores and ribbons that are in like a certain category. So if you got a certain score, then you earned a blue ribbon, like maybe 9 or above. Another one was a red, another one was a white. So then when you went back later, you could see if you could better your times or better your scores. So then she went back in April, and so these were all the scores, the ones in orange. She improved in all those events. And so that was such a worthwhile experience to her, because she could keep those cards over time and really see the progress. I felt, wow, that really is fostering your growth mindset. Maybe we could do something like that in sports stacking. So I came up with this idea of speeding tickets. So, because everyone wants to be faster in sports stacking. So I came up with these speeding tickets, and I have a couple of links there. One is a version that you could edit yourself. And you could put your school logo in there. You could put, you could just change it to be whatever it worked best for you. Or there is an official version that's going to be posted soon on the WSSA website that you can use. And the idea is that if everybody's ever taught sports stacking, we do have these categories, like when a kid gets a set of cups, or if you look online, that at first you're a beginner, and then you become fast, and then you become really fast, and then you become world class. And so those times are published in a lot of different materials, and that's what a lot of kids will kind of carry around with them, like, oh, now I'm really fast. And they take real pride in seeing that jump. So, so this link is there. I printed these on yellow paper because they look really a lot like speeding tickets that way, which is kind of fun. So,
I like it.
So that
We've got some other questions when you want, Lisa, as well.
yeah.
I think we lost Lisa again. Just a second. Hoping she comes back. All right, everyone, hold on a second again. All right, so she froze up again. She's going to hop out and hop back on. So just keep those questions rolling here. And then in a few minutes, she's going to have her kiddos hop in to the Hangout as well, so you can see them stack. So it should be pretty awesome.
Back.
Hey, Lisa, it looks like you're kind of back, but I think you're going to have to exit back out again and try to come back in. All right, like I said, we're just having some technical difficulties, so I apologize, everybody.
Yeah, I don't have an Ethernet cord.
So we're working on getting her back into the Hangout, and then we'll be ready to go with some of your questions that you're asking. So just sometimes, like we talked about at the beginning of the Hangout, we have the technical difficulties, and it's great that this is going to be an interactive session to have her students within the Hangout. But hey, Lisa.
Is that better? I think we're okay.
We're back again. Hey, it cut out right when I was going to say there's some questions for you.
Okay.
So what do you need to start a after-school club? And also, what's the equipment and the space that's needed to start a program?
So I have taught in very small classrooms. What you definitely need I think you definitely need some tables. But you can start on a floor. The kids can learn by stacking on the floor. But you need very little except for the cups that will work for sport stacking. Speed Stacks is one brand that's well known. There are other PE companies that have other cups. The reason why I mentioned Speed Stacks is they will lend you the equipment for free. And I'm not sure about other groups, but I know that you can contact them and they will send you a loaner kit for free. So you just have to pay to ship it back, which is usually about $20. So it comes with enough cups for 30 kids, some mats and timers, a curriculum guide, but those same lesson plans are online. So if you say you started a school and you inherited a set of sport stacking cups and you're wondering, what do I do with these? You could go on the Speed Stacks website and use their curriculum guides, no matter what brand of cup they are. It's just that you need to have specially designed cups. Solo cups aren't going to work because they'll stick together. So you have to have cups that are designed for sport stacking. But you just need somebody who's, if you're willing to run it, people do ask me that question a lot. I say you just need an adult that's willing to run it and the cups, and you'll see that the kids love it and they'll love learning it along with you. Yeah, is that the?
Yeah,
that's really
awesome.
all you need to start the club.
Yeah.
And wanting to learn. I mean, I think I meet grown-ups all the time that say, "Oh, I could never do that," and I say, "I learned when I was 39." So anybody can learn how to do it. And there's even a senior division. So I say it's a lifelong sport. I've had kids in my club as young as 4. My son's been stacking since he was born practically. So I'm going to bring my stackers in.
Sweet.
If there are no other questions right now, and we're going to run you through what this will look like. We're going to introduce them to you.
Sure.
I suggest I put the link to the Junior Olympics opening ceremonies video as a little bit of entertainment while I'm getting the stackers. So if you want to watch that.
Awesome, everyone. So yeah, as Lisa said, she's grabbing her stackers. She's going to come in and introduce them. So you can take a look at those links while she's doing that. But
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah. We're going to need it a little closer. All right, so everybody line up so we can introduce you. Oh, Ashley and Holly, remember we're going to introduce everybody. Yes, that's Colin that everybody can see. So, all right, everybody's gonna introduce themselves and say their age. Let me know if you can actually hear them. If not, because I can't really get any closer with the microphone.
Okay,
so,
yeah, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's start.
Okay, my name is Darius and I'm 8 years old.
Can you hear?
Yes, we can.
My name is Ethan and I'm 7. My name is Titus and I'm 8. I'm Lucy, I'm 11. My name is Donovan and I'm 10. I'm Ashton and I'm 12. I'm Holly and I'm 12. I'm Ryan and I'm Robin and I'm 8.
All right, so that's our crew for today. What they're going to do is I suggest that if you're doing a sports stacking competition, as I think makes a great culminating event in your class, that you set up stations and have kids come up to the table. And I gave them numbers, so they're going to come up in their number order. Not everybody, they know that not everybody's going to get to stack today, that we're just showing you what to do. But and then I have some fun stations for them to set up in the back, and they would rotate through those stations while they were waiting for their turn to come up and stack. I'm even going to get some of the kids to help with the competition part of things. And so we're going to get going. They kind of know where they're starting. Right. So can everybody go to their starting spots, please?
Do I have to do cycle?
No, I asked you. Can you do the 3-3-3 for us, please? So we have a variety of ages and stacks that we're going to show you today so you can learn about, set up for the 3-3-3. Can you put your 3 cups on the floor, please? Yeah, put those extra cups on the floor that we don't need. I'm going to move a little closer to Ava here.
Perfect.
And I've got,
that looks
I'll
great.
be right back. I forgot a pen. Okay, so Titus and Darius are at our on-deck table behind us, and Ava's here up, and she is going to, we often give stackers 2 warm-ups. It's sort of like swinging the bat before they get started at the plate. So she's going to, would you like your 2 warm-ups? It's up to you. Okay, so why don't you do 2 warm-ups? Do 2 3-3-3s just to warm up. All right, so now this is going to be her first attempt. I've got her speeding ticket here. She's doing the 3-3-3. I'm going to write her name on here. And all right, so turn on your timer. And so we've got the display timer so you can see what her time is. And so she's going to get 3 tries to do her best. So go whenever you're ready. And she followed all the rules of stacking. So we're going to give her a green card. Good job. And I'm going to write down that time. And I'm going to write down all 3 of her times. And we'll see which one is the best. All right, you can reset your timer and start when ready. All right, close, very consistent. But beat your time a little bit. Great job. All right, so this is your last try. That's the best one yet. So you are 5.718. That still puts you in, so that puts you in the fast category. I'm going to sign your speeding ticket and give you a sticker. And do you want to do my cards for me? Those were all green. Do you want to be my card holder now? That means that I'll tell you if it's good or not. I'll tell you which card to hold up. Do you want to be my assistant? All you have to do is stand by the timer and hold the card. All right, so Darius, Titus, we're ready for you. So Ava has never been in one of the competitions that we've done here at the gym. She's only been part of our club time where we give kids that experience. All right, so now we've got, this is Titus, who has been in some of our competitions here, and he's going to do the 3-6-3. He's going to use his own cups. Would you like your 2 practices?
What?
Would you like your 2 practices?
I'm fine with you.
What? Are you going to do the, are you doing the 3-3-3 or the 3-6-3? It's your choice. What would you like to do? Okay. So you could choose, you could have a format where, if you would just hold on a second, you can take some warm-ups while I'm talking. So you could have a format where each kid comes up and chooses their own stack, or you could have a format where everybody in the class does the same kind of stack. There are just a lot of ways to do this. They're all going to get their speeding tickets at the end. If you want to create a wall of fame with their times that acknowledges everybody's work, you could do that. If you just want it all to be private and personal, they just take their times and go. So it's just, there are a lot of different ways to do it. All right, so this is your first try. All right. I got, oh, so that was, did you think he followed all the rules of sport stacking, Eva? Yes, so give him a green card. Good job. All right, thanks. This is his second attempt. All right, I really love it how you stuck with it at the end and fixed your fumble. Good job. Okay, this is your third try. All right. Well, I think you're really pushing yourself to try and get a better time than your first one, but that first one was great. 5.768 puts you in the fast time. I'm going to sign your speeding ticket. All right. Do you want a chance to do the cards, or do you want to go back and practice at the mat? Do you want a chance to do these cards, or do you want to go practice at the mat? Okay. Okay. All right, Darius, your turn. Thanks, Titus. All right, Darius, come on down. Darius has a bit of a cold, so might not be his best stacking day ever. All right, this is Darius. And he's going to do the 3-6-3 because I asked him to. You're both doing 3-6-3. Would you like your 2 practices? Okay. The practices also give me a chance to see if a kid is stacking properly. That's just caught up in his cycle. All right, another practice. Also to help the stacker remember which stack they're supposed to do. Okay. All right, and a good judge doesn't lean on the table because we don't want to, you know. All right. Okay, this is your first try. All right. All right, 5.816. You can reset the timer. Yep, I thought he followed all the rules of sport stacking too. A 5.068. All right, that beat your first time. One more attempt. Did you think it was good? .215. So your best attempt was your second attempt. Still puts you in the fast category like your other club mates today. And that takes us through our first group. So now we're going to rotate. Here you go. Here's the sticker. So these stickers, they say, I stack, what's your superpower? And those are also available from the World Sport Stacking Association. If you register a competition in your PE class or even a bigger one on the weekend, they'll send you these stickers. It's something new for this season. All right, so we're going to rotate. Hey, stackers. We're going to rotate. So I have this first group is going to go back to Ryan's table. Ryan's table goes to Holly's table, and Holly's table, you're going to come forward. So if you need your own cups, now would be the time to get them. Yep, so you're going to go back and play with your group. I know, you said you were going to do cards for me. So it's good to give everybody a job. And I have to say that I didn't really get a chance to say this while they're getting themselves organized, is that if you really do come from a project-based learning school, this really does have the makings. If you want to do a full big competition, you've got the artwork on the t-shirts, you've got the musical cup stacking routine for intermission, you've got the data collection, spreadsheets for the times. Lucy's gonna stack before you, so please switch with Lucy. Thanks. Holly, can you stand over here? Thanks. So if you really wanted to do this as a full project-based learning, there's the geography of all the countries in the world that are involved in sport stacking. So you really could make a full integrated unit study of sport stacking.
So Lisa, real quick, while everyone's getting set up too, how much do the timers run an individual?
So this display timer, this is just a display so you can see what's going on their mat and timer on the table. So a mat and timer setup is about $30. And then one of these displays is pretty expensive. It's $80 to $90. So, but there are different ways. So SpeedStacks is the company that makes this equipment. And you can do, they have like a program where if, you know, usually a lot of kids want the equipment once you start your unit. And if you sell a certain amount of equipment, then you can earn bonus bucks to buy supplies for your school. When I did my after school club, I didn't get paid. I volunteered my time, but I still charged the kids $25 for the 6 or 8 week session, something like that. And then, can you not? And so then I would use that money to buy supplies. And so that worked out in everybody's favor because as time went on and I ran the club each session, the school just got more and more supplies. And as I moved, I taught it at my daughter's first school. And then, so that school got to keep those supplies. And then when she moved to a different school and I ran it there, that school got to keep the supplies. So it is, a lot of parents are used to paying for their kids to play soccer or be in an after school club. So they're, hopefully, and if you don't have that option, maybe your PE department can also budget the money for the equipment. So there's a variety of ways to come up with the funds to purchase it. You could also just charge everybody $30 and they order their own set of mats, cups, and timers that they keep all the time. They bring it to the club, they take it home. That's another way of doing it. All right, I think we're ready to show you our last couple of stackers. So Lucy, you can come on forward. You have to bring the, something happened. Oh, there. The cups are on the floor. All right, I'll let you choose whether you do the cycle or the 360. It's up to you. Okay. Would you like your 2 practices? All right, so we're gonna have 2 more kids run through. Lucy hasn't been in a competition in a couple of years. This is her first time at the table in a long time. So we're gonna have her 2 practices and then we'll see what kind of speeding ticket she earns. And so again, these practices give me a chance to make sure that she remembers all the rules properly. She has to fix her fumbles, which is one of the mottos of sport stacking. Good catch. All right, can you take your second practice? All right, and she remembered to fix her fumble before she stopped the timer. So we're going to give her 3 attempts. Now, let me say, I don't know if you can see what's going on back here. I will show you the mayhem that has ensued at the station because these are real kids. I didn't bring in like robot kids. And so even though they were told what to do at that station, they're not doing it. If it were my PE class, I would pause Lucy, go talk to them. If you can all still hear what's going on, and they're not, since it's not my PE class,
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily stop them, but
It's just part of it, right?
So that's going to happen, right?
Of course.
For real kids. So, but you should be able to get them back on track with your usual, management style, I'm sure. All right, Lucy, thanks for waiting. This is your first attempt. All right, what'd you think? Yep, that was a green. All right, that's 23276. All right, reset the timer and start when ready. All right, way to stick with it. 26998. And just so you know, if you're not familiar with these timers, she can actually see her time on the back. There's a smaller display on the time. So she can see her times, but I'm reading them out loud because I'm used to doing that. And so this is your last attempt. Yeah, you beat your other two times. 21.983. And on here, that puts you in the fast category. We've got a lot of fast doctors here. All right. And you can have a stick or two. All right. And last but not least, we're going to switch out and have Donovan come up. And so remember, I have a variety of kids here with a variety of experience. So Donovan is one of our most experienced stackers, and I think you'll be able to see that when he comes up. Do you want your warm-up? Second warm-up. All right, this is your first attempt. All right, 10-1-6-3. All right, reset your timer and start when ready. All right, 8-1-3-1. And this is your final attempt whenever you're ready. All right, so 8.131 was your best time. That does make you a world-class stacker. And he is, so Donovan here and my lovely assistant Holly are both members of the USA Sports Stacking team. So they've been in a lot of competitions and are well, they're also two, I should brag for them that they are both junior Olympic gold medalists. So yay. All right.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna have the stackers head back out to the lobby and we'll just wrap up and take any final questions that everybody has. So just give me a second to shoo everybody out the door.
Hey, no problem. So yeah, everyone, if you have any questions that you'd like Lisa to answer, feel free to go ahead and maybe put those into the Tozzle. I really appreciate everyone that's sharing a lot of awesome links as well. within the TOSL. And again, thanks for your patience as we dealt with just a little bit of some Wi-Fi issues. But I think that having seeing students in action is awesome. So I thought that was really cool for Lisa to kind of take that risk and to go for it. And it really was awesome. So she's getting back here. Just 1 second. All right.
All right. So a few other links I just wanted to point out before we wrap up was I put Darius's profile page from the World Sports Stacking Association on there. When kids start doing, so this is how it would look in a PE class, or one way it could look in a PE class. If kids are interested in being in official competitions, they get a profile. And so I love his profile because he's a very new stacker progress. So even kids could graph their times to see how they, even from the start of your PE unit to this culminating event, they could graph their times and see their own progress. So that's going to show them. A lot of kids do like to keep a little journal or a little book to of their personal best. So that shows an official version, but you could easily, in whatever portfolio system you have a kid make their own version. There's a lot of resources out there, a lot of teachers. I'd be happy to talk with anybody. And yeah, so that's what I have to show you today.
So Elisa, I just say, number one, thanks. And, you know, we worked through a few technical issues and you did awesome. And I was just telling everyone how great it was to have your students as part, or have students as part of your presentation. And it's a Phys Ed Summit first, and took a risk and it went really well. So I just think that was awesome. So way to go. And just something that I saw, that there's a lot of people that are sharing some awesome links. Kind of a question that was out there, and people did share links on this though. So is there some really good resources for incorporating this into fitness-based activities into a physical education class as well?
Yeah, so today the focus was having a culminating competition, but if you go to the SpeedStack's website and look at their teacher resources, there are a lot of games that involve a lot of running and really get kids' heart rates up. We were fitness monitors all year at my school last year to make sure we were getting the recommended 30 minutes MVPA through the whole year. And even during the sports stacking unit, we play games where they do run back and forth. There are games like, one is called Switchback, where one team runs to the other side and down stacks their cups and brings them back to their side, and then the other team does the same, and they're just constantly running back and forth with their cups. That's a great game. I do one with scooters. You can do this with they can run or they can push each other around on scooters, called Indianapolis 500, where one kid stacks while the other kids race around. So we do 3 laps around during the 3-3-3, 6 laps around during the 3-6-3, and 10 laps around during the cycle is another way that really gets them moving. So there are plenty of ways. And sometimes we just use the stacking in games that you've already done. You know, there's like capture the flag, well, you could capture the cup. So because I teach this 30, 40 weeks a year, even my students, they want new and different things. And so sometimes I just crack open my regular PE, game book and oh, well, how can we play? We haven't done it yet, but I was like, oh, how can we play hula throwdown with stacks of cups instead? So you could, just switch out the equipment, which is nice for kids to have something new and different in games that they already know.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. And yeah, like I said, lots of people are sharing links. You have some great resources available on that TOSL as well. So I think that's it as far as questions. And I know people are getting ready to transition into the next block of the Phys Ed
Right.
Summit. So,
well, thank you so much, Phys Ed Summit. Thank you, Colin, for walking me through my first Google Hangout, or that's the second, and for giving me the chance to share these ideas. And again, if you do a search on Google for Lisa Berman and sports stacking, you'll find 5 different ways to get in touch with me. So if you have any questions in the future, I'd be happy to answer them.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time and your expertise, Lisa. So thanks, everyone. And I placed the conference feedback form within the TOSL as well, that you can fill that out either now or after the Phys Ed Summit. So we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the Phys Ed Summit, everyone.
Thanks.